James 4:3 Aiteta kai u lambanata, diati kakos aiteste, hina intais hedanais humon dapanesete. Translation: You all ask, and you don't receive, because you're asking wickedly or evilly or with evil motives, so that we know the subjunctive's coming. There's a lengthened vowel. There's a sigma. Bam! That's an aorist active subjunctive. So that you may spend freely or spend completely on your pleasures or on your cravings. Okay, one of the resources I looked at, interestingly, was debating why is this form following hina, dapanesita, why is that an aorist? It's an aorist active subjunctive, second person plural. Why is it an aorist? Well, in answering that question, first I want to say, look at hina. How many times is hina followed by a present subjunctive versus an aorist subjunctive in the New Testament? Thankfully, Stephen Baugh has helpfully assembled that data for us, and he shows us that 221 times it's followed by a present subjunctive and 578 by an aorist. So 72% of the time, hina is followed by an aorist subjunctive. That's roughly 3 out of 4 times. I mean, that's a very strong pattern. That alone could explain why that is an aorist. But secondly, we look at the lexical form here. We look at dapanao. We search on that in the New Testament. We find only 5 forms, 1 indicative and 4 non-indicatives. 100% of the non-indicatives are in the aorist. Now, again, that's a very small amount of data. We'd like to look in the Septuagint, Josephus, Philo, elsewhere. But at least within the New Testament, we have 100% of non-indicative forms in the aorist. And perhaps that's pointing to a strong stylistic preference within this time period for the aorist and non-indicatives. Maybe it's the procedural nature of the verb itself which is leading this way, to spend completely or spend entirely or use up. Maybe that looks at the action as a whole, right? It doesn't give attention to the unfolding, but it includes the beginning, the ending, and everything in between, and looks at it as a whole. And the aorist tense is preferred for that. It's that what we call the perfective aspect, where it looks at the action as a whole.